Thanks so much for speaking with us. So, Down to Earth, what can you tell us about this film? People who haven't seen it before, how would you summarise what this is about?
Whoa.
How long do we have?
It's basically come forth out of a journey that we undertook as a family, stepping out of the rat race. And so, we lived for 5 years with a Native American clan and then with other indigenous communities. And in that process, we thought, there's so much wisdom, actually here with these people that the world should know about. And so we started to film our encounters. And so after 5 years, we returned with a lot of material, and we spent 5 years to put it together to this film.
And what first sparked your idea to try and escape from the rat race, as you call it, or from mainstream society?
I feel it's escaping. It was more like we were looking for more depth in life. And for me, it was very clear when I became a mother. And I was raised on my granddad's farm, so I knew what it was to have freedom and to really kind of be not constricted with just schoolwork and those kind of pressure. And also just in general, I felt really strongly that we were really needed a break to really follow up. Right now, I don't think that everyone has to do it to really explore these things, but it was a good, for us, the right move, yeah.
And how did you discover each of these, is it the keepers of the earth you call them? How did you come across these specific communities? Because they really are off the beaten track, if you like.
Yeah, well, we did quite a bit of research, but we didn't research like who do we want to film. It was more like what kind of areas do we want to go to, and what kind of, like say in Peru we wanted to film with the Quiros, and in Kenya with the Maasai. We knew that. But then to get the access was finding the right gatekeepers, and that was the first step into the communities. And we had no idea if they were interested, and we had no idea who would fit in terms of who we connect with, basically. And
it's quite an old-fashioned way of going about it. We had to just go there and show up and take it from there, because the people that we wanted to film, you can't find them online.
And I mean, I've done a bit of backpacking, and it seemed sort of tricky enough just to get myself around, never mind with a whole family. So were there any moments where you sort of felt like you were taking quite a risk bringing your kids along, or it felt very challenging?
Challenging, yes. Risks, I don't know. I mean, I can walk here in London and something might drop on my head. I mean, I feel, challenging, yes. Small kids, and especially in the beginning, we were not really in the flow yet. But I think we were such a tight unit for those 4 years that we lived in the woods without any distraction. And I think we really geared well, we were really in a good form that we were traveling. It was not like city life, going to excessive traveling in remote places. We lived 4 years really on a very slow rhythm and no distraction. The kids were homeschooled already. So I think that really prepared us all. As a family, as a unit, but also individually to know, you never know, but we had a tight unit.
If you think about it, I mean, we went to places that we hadn't traveled before, to the desert in Africa, to the Amazon. But actually coming to these places, we felt safer there than we would actually feel here in the city. Yeah. We were always taken care of by the local people. So you're going astray by yourself. And we were in the Amazon, and if you just tune in with the local tribe, you feel as safe as can be.
What were the harshest conditions that you suffered?
Well, for me, I think the harshest was actually that we were in India just before the monsoon with 45 degrees Celsius. And the birds falling off the roof. That was tough. I must say the things that we thought were going to be tough, like the Kalahari Desert, was actually, I wouldn't say a walk in the park, but we were prepared well, and we lived very, very simply with these people. You adopt to the environment that you visit. So I don't think the journey was particularly strenuous.
We took always a lot of time as well. And we stayed in the community, so it's not like it was very kind of from here to here and really like in a fast-moving pace. I think we really took our time, and especially for the kids, so we can ground first, and then we were looking for people to film, or we were straight into the communities.
And as you can see in the film, what really happened is that the kids were much quicker than us to communicate with the kids locally. And so we didn't know what this was going to be like, traveling with 3 kids. I must say, personally, I had some worries. Like, this might be difficult. It might be too much, actually, to travel with kids and trying to make a film. But we always gave sort of priority to the family. And the interesting thing is, if we look back to the whole process, it's actually that the kids were the door openers, because we came as a family, the kids started to play with their kids, we were immediately sort of into their family. And so we weren't seen as a filmmakers that came to record their cultural or spiritual heritage. And we were, first of all, a family that came to visit. And that made an instant bond. And I think that's what you see back in the film. There's an intimacy in the film that there's no filmmaker, there's no film crew there. It's just a camera rolling whilst we meet these people.
And obviously it was a very transformative process for you guys. What do you think was a key turning point or a key moment, perhaps we felt most profoundly a difference, or somewhere that was particularly beautiful?
On different levels, but I think for me personally, it was in Australia, and we lived there with this little tribe of people on a small island, and I really felt everything was kind of the reason why we left England and why we went and lived with Native Americans, but then scaled up, because nothing was prepared, nothing was fixed. Like they said, yeah, we film tomorrow, and we, like, after 2 weeks, yeah, we do it tomorrow. 3 weeks, still nothing in the can, and that really felt like almost like a homecoming experience, also for our children, and that feeling of completely surrender and then completely being in that connective state. That really changed for me a lot, because I think still you always feel a little bit of not pressure, but you want to make sure your children are okay, that they do their schoolwork. You have to look ahead, like where you're going to film, so there's a whole production element to it. Then you film, you connect with the people. You have to think about food, all of these things. So sometimes it's full on. When you're in a good flow, it's okay. But there it was just like, it's all here, it's all okay. And to see my kids having such a wonderful time and making that connection with the earth, with the people and their ways from a really profound way, like the real way. Because sometimes you get glimpses, but there it was just,
We were adopted into the family like from day one.
Yeah.
There was no gray area. We were just with them, and they said, you can stay as long as you like. Yeah. And it was an incredible feeling of being welcomed, because we were always thinking, like, we asked something from them, but they were often very grateful that we took the effort to come and show interest in them. And that was really surprising to us. Yeah.
I love this quote at the beginning. I'm probably going to get it a bit wrong, but we don't inherit the world from our parents, but we're borrowing it from our children.
You got it right.
What do you want the impact of this film to be, or what do you hope for it to be?
A couple of things. I think, first of all, when people watch the film, that they're inspired. And the other thing definitely is that people start questioning more. Are you living the life you want to live? Do you know yourself, who you truly are? I think, that's kind of what I feel. And it can be really small. It doesn't have to be massive things. And we launched our film first in Holland, and we got emails like people saying, should we take our kids out of school? Give me tips. Where should I travel to? It's like, that's not really the idea. But small, start within. And I think that's, for me, the most important thing that I hope that will come across. And for you?
Well, to me, there's so much talk about sustainability and, how are we going to do this? And then what you see is that people actually try to solve these problems with the same mindset that created the problems. And I think what this film does is actually going to the foundation layer of why we are not sustainable, because we don't think sustainable. We are raised in a sort of a linear model, and to actually see these people, they think completely different about life and also about death. And so, I think what we can take from them is a completely different outlook on life and what we have to do here. So to us, sort of the message that are in this film is sort of the foundation layer on which we can build sustainable solutions.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time. Lovely to meet you.